Hey, what's up, guys? I haven't made a video in so long. I think it's been like a couple of weeks, and I do apologize for that. But please understand, I've been so busy with other projects, writing projects, submitting query letters, trying to acquire a literary agent, trying to get my book published, my stories, my poems. I got so much stuff going on, and it's just been such a hectic, chaotic lifestyle at the present time. And I do apologize for not using this platform enough, and I do promise that I'm going to make more videos and get back to you. I want to talk about something that's on a major biblical proportion right now, which is homelessness in California. But before I do that, I want to use this tiny segment of this video to extend my humble appreciation for all the men, women, children. Yes, and there are children. There's lots of children that volunteered with their parents in the homeless shelters in Pittsburgh, specifically in Pittsburgh, that did such a remarkable job cooking and serving, cleaning, giving clothes and medical supplies and blankets, pillows, you name it, to all the people who accrue these needs over a time of being and living on the streets. And I want to take this small moment to really thank you guys for what you do. Your work is greatly appreciated, even though it's not talked about enough. And I know that there's never going to be books written about you. I know that there's never going to be a statue with your name on it in your town, and there's certainly probably not going to be a YouTube video made about you. So as a result of that, I am taking a small portion of this video and thanking you ever so much for everything that you do. It is remarkably appreciated, miraculously appreciated. You just don't know. Just because you're not acknowledged does not mean that people do not care, especially the homeless community. I can't speak for all the members of the homeless community, but I certainly can speak for myself and a lot of others. We do appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much for your hard work and your continued hard work. Now, the problem with what I'm about to present is something that a person who has never lived out in the streets really finds hard to understand. I know you've been reading newspapers like I have. You've been watching YouTube videos. You have been watching CNN, Fox News, whatever newscast that you watch. You've been seeing homelessness. There are documentaries. I even made videos about homelessness in Pittsburgh. There's so many things you could watch. You can get so easily overwhelmed and confused. What you need to understand is homelessness is a galaxy. It is a universe unto itself. There are so many variables and there are so many causes to why a person becomes homeless. But what you really must realize is, like a lot of other things, it is a case-by-case basis. And even though many homeless people share collectively so many commonalities as to how they have accrued homelessness, whether it's by drug addiction, alcoholism, mental illness, loss of relationships, loss of employment, each case is unique. This is something I myself have experienced firsthand while living out in the streets in Pittsburgh. Every case is unique, even though they may share the same commonality. Okay, so you just need to keep that in the back of your head when you're ever discussing homelessness or trying to grasp what exactly the problem is, because it's so big and there's so many variables. As of the making of this video, 40,000 people in Los Angeles do not have a place to sleep tonight. Almost 9,000 people in San Francisco do not have a place to sleep tonight. 20 more thousand in Los Angeles County do not have a place to sleep tonight. I don't know how many in Sacramento. I don't know how many in San Jose. I don't know many in San Diego or all the other cities, Oakland. How many cities are there in California? I don't even know. And the problem is, I'm just reading the Los Angeles Times, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Jose Mercury News, just like all you guys are, and I'm watching videos. I don't live in California. I'm over 3,000 miles across here in the eastern seaboard, okay? I'm on the East Coast. I have no idea what you guys are really putting up with. I just go by what I'm reading. And from what I'm reading, you know, I'm not a big trustworthy person when it comes to social media. I don't look at it and say, yeah, they're right, because I know how newspapers can be. I know how misleading they can be. I'm not necessarily sure they do it on purpose. It's just a lot of times they don't understand the basic roots, because a lot of them get ignored and they're not discussed because people don't know. Even the journalists that go out there and do all this investigative reporting, they don't know everything. They're just giving you a large part of the whole, just like I'm doing with this video. So just, you know, cut them some slack, give them a little bit of breathing room. They're trying to do the best they can with it. If you spend $1 billion on something and it is still a prevalent problem, that's a clear indication to me, okay? I'm just speaking for myself. That's a clear indication to me that the government does not need to get involved. The government has made a disaster of homelessness. I propose this, okay? Here's what I think should be done in an effective manner, which I think can get people back on their feet again, okay? I am speaking to the small business owners, the medium business owners, the large business owners who have the means to employ people. You see, homelessness, in my view, is not a political problem. I am not going to sit here and entertain a selection of accusations that I can present to the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the Independent Party. That's so easy to do. I'm not going to do that because I do not believe that homelessness is a political problem. I believe it's a humanitarian problem. I've always believed that a community's problems are just that. It's a community. And in the community lies the answer. You business owners have what it takes right now to not necessarily snuff out this problem and not be the know-all and see-all, but you certainly have the means to look at this problem and say, you know what, maybe I can do something about this. The reason why I'm picking on the business owners, if you want to call it picking on, listen to all those waves in the lovely river down here in Ohio where I'm hiking. The reason why I call upon you is because from what I gather in the newspapers, it's the very problem that you have. You have homeless people defecating in front of your establishment, urinating in front of your establishment, and putting up tents in front of your establishment. Now, before I present to you what I'm going to say this, and I'm speaking by means of experience. I know what it's like to sleep under a bridge. I know what it's like to sleep in single-digit temperatures. I have seen a lot of stuff out in those streets. I've seen people die in those streets. I have seen women sell themselves like fruit. I could make 1,000 videos of all the stuff that I've seen in the city of Pittsburgh. Even my series of homelessness in Pittsburgh doesn't even scratch the surface of the stuff that I've seen. Okay? You people who are pitching tents, defecating and urinating all over those business establishments and private residences, you have no right. You have no right to do any of those things. It is not anybody's fault that you're homeless. It's not. It's not a government's fault. It's not your Aunt May's fault. It's not your Uncle Bob's fault. It's not your mother and father's fault. Even if you didn't put yourself in this position, you have to own up to what is going on in your life. And you have no right to camp out in front of somebody's establishment and think just because you find yourself in a unique position that you have to sleep in a shelter tonight or that you have to sleep under a bridge, that you have this audacity or this God-presented right to trample over somebody's business and make it look bad for them. You don't. You need to pack up your stuff, what little stuff you have, and move. Because you don't have a house, you really don't have a right to own any of those things, and you don't have a right to pop up a tent in front of somebody's establishment and call it home. Because you're not paying any taxes there. So you need to move. You need to pack up your stuff and get out. That's what you need to do, okay? I've been in your position, and I sympathize with you, but the only person that's going to change this is you. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback about that, and that's okay. I'm prepared to handle it. I'm pretty thick-skinned. I know what I'm talking about because I've been there, and I know how most homeless persons think. Again, it's not a collective basis. It's a case-by-case, but I understand it. You small business owners, if you entertain the idea in your head, and I am asking, I'm imploring, consider hiring these people to sweep up your parking lot, to clean your restrooms, to give them some small incentive to look at their situation and say, hey, you know what, maybe, just maybe, if this small business guy gives me a job and I clean up and I do well, maybe I can go and apply for a better job. Because once a homeless person, ladies and gentlemen, relearns how to do the small things, he'll go on to do the bigger things. Okay? Irrespective of a person's current situation, regardless of how he's gotten there, you need to have some form of plan to get back on your feet. Somebody has to give you an offering. Somebody has to present an opportunity. That's where, in my view, the small business, medium business owners come into play here. You're the guys that can make that small difference for a homeless person to take that giant leap forward. You are the ones who have the tools to provide that. And I'm just asking you to consider doing that. I'm not asking you to change their life. I'm not asking you to give them a place to lay their head. I'm not asking you to pay them $45 an hour to do menial work. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just asking you to give them an opportunity to make 30, 40, 50 bucks, because that little small incentive is going to enable them to just keep going. Okay? It doesn't sound like an ingenious plan, and this video is not a cure for homelessness, but it's a great start. Because the way I look at it, if $1 billion has already been spent in California and there are still 40,000 people that are going to be sleeping on the street tonight in Los Angeles, that's a clear indication to me that the citizens of California need to look at the politicians that they have elected to office who have spent $1 billion on this problem, and it is still there. I would raise some serious questions with my legislators. I really would. But again, I'm not going to make this a political issue. That's all. It's as political as I'm going to get about it. Homelessness is designed to dehumanize a person. It is designed to make a person feel worthless. It is designed to make a person continue to feel that no matter what they do, no matter what kind of acts they perform, no matter how hard they try, they will never get out of the situation that they are in, and they will always be reliant on people for their charity to provide them for their very existence. That's what it does to you. That's the way it makes you think. And if you stay out in the streets long enough, you begin to believe, to actually believe, that this is exactly the life you were intended to live. That's what it does. Homelessness has the ability to kill. I'll repeat that. Homelessness has the ability to kill. I have seen people die on the streets. I have seen people get hurt on the streets. I am just merely asking for a couple of people out there to seriously consider giving a person out in the street the opportunity to make himself better, to give himself a small improvement in his matter, in his situation, to lift his spirit, to raise himself, because he's already given up hope. He's already living on the street. He's already eating somewhere that he doesn't want to eat at. He's already spending his nights sleeping in a place that he doesn't like and the people around him he doesn't like. He's been forced to do that. Just give him one little incentive. I know I keep repeating that word incentive, but that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what he needs or she needs, okay? Because this problem is not going to be eradicated through any government legislation. If you folks are sitting there in California waiting for some messianic politician to ride down from the sky, wave his magic wand, and that's going to, obliterate homelessness, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning 10 times in a row in your life, okay? It's just not going to happen. Community involvement is a great start. If you don't believe me, okay, irrespective of whatever political party you affiliate yourself with, okay, because I don't want to bring politics into this. If you don't believe me, just watch this video a year from now and see how many homeless people are out in the streets in California. See if it's changed. I really hope that a year from now, homelessness will be largely eliminated or even somewhat eliminated. But I'm going to hold my breath until then. You don't believe me? Watch this video a year from now. In my view, the community is the answer to this. You guys are the eyes and ears of your community. You see what goes on a daily basis. And I can guarantee you, before I shut this video down, because I don't want to take up a lot of people, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I appreciate the time that you take to watch my videos. There is somebody in your town right now that needs your help. There's somebody that goes to bed hungry every night, and there's somebody that probably doesn't have a place to sleep just because he doesn't look like it. You don't know what to look for, but I do, and I don't have time to get into that right now. But I'm asking, just as a suggestion, just to entertain the idea that you have what it takes to eliminate this. Keep the government out of it, and keep the community involved. Let me know what you think. Have a great week.